LA Mayor Karen Bass is blaming the president's ICE raids for the unrest happening in her city, telling MSNBC's Ana Cabrera until the raids stop, she'll be concerned about fear and tension in Los Angeles.
The White House instigated this by having ICE raids in our city. They are telling us that they're going to have raids for the next 30 days.
Right.
So you know, then that has a whole sector of the population on pins and needles. You were talking about someone doing childcare, a nanny in an individual's home, or your landscaper, your gardener, people who are small business owners, people who contribute to our economy in multiple ways. And so to disrupt that hurts the economy of Los Angeles and is the opposite of what we need to be doing.
Joining us now is California Democratic Congresswoman Norma Torres. Congresswoman, you just heard Mayor Bass say there are going to be raids for the next 30 days. After that, she said there were at least 5 conducted across LA on Monday. Is there anything you can tell us about the tempo of ICE activity you're hearing about in and around your district? And what's the reaction from constituents?
The reaction, Christina, from my constituents is one of complete scare. These are scare tactics. They are panicked. They are worried about their families. They're worried about the children going to school, their spouses not coming home. In many cases, people aren't reporting crimes that are occurring to them, whether they are witnesses or victims, because they are too afraid to engage with any law enforcement agency. And this is the chaos that the president created when he sent an unchecked group of ICE officers, agents, to a community to profile and do these raids that they have not had a warrant. They are not asking for specific names. They are simply going after people because of the way they look. And this must stop. The president must call back these ICE agents. They must retreat in order for the locals to be given the opportunity to restore order, because that is what we are demanding right now.
Congresswoman, I want to ask you, I'm just curious, as a lawmaker, as somebody who represents these areas, are you given any kind of warning before these raids? After them, is there a database that you can go into to see how many have taken place? Or are you trying to come up with this data just based on what people are seeing and hearing and reporting to you?
Yes, there is no forewarning to anyone. And in some cases, in many cases, I should say, there hasn't even been a warning to the local police departments. And yet they are having to deploy backup officers in order to assist agents when they get into trouble. I want to be very clear about the fact that when they take people into custody, by law, they are supposed to input their names into a registry, a searchable database where family members can find their loved ones. But what we are finding out is that they are not updating that database, and it is impossible to find people. I'll give you an example of 2 of my constituents that were arrested in Anaheim. They were taken to Santa Ana, and from there, we couldn't find them. They were transferred out of there to downtown Los Angeles. When the attorneys found them in downtown Los Angeles, they were transferred back to Santa Ana. The only reason why I found out that they were there in Santa Ana again was because one of our colleagues was able to get access to that detention facility. And we were talking and just matched the description that they were 2 painters that happened to be there when this colleague was doing a walkthrough through the facility. This is unfortunate. This should not be happening. We demand a due process. We demand ICE to come in with specific warrants. They need to target specific people. That is one thing. But indiscriminately catching and going after people simply because of the color of their skin is not something that we can tolerate as a community.
I also want to get your reaction. Speaker Mike Johnson is saying Democrats are on the wrong side of this issue. If you can take a listen.
The Democrats are making a terrible political calculation. They are on the side of lawbreakers. They are on the side of illegal aliens. They are on the side of in some cases, MS-13 members and people who have abused their spouses. I mean, they're on the wrong side of this. The American people do not want violent criminals from other countries illegally in the U.S. I mean, this is a very common sense position that we've taken.
Congresswoman, how do you respond to that?
This is the political theater in the picture that Republicans and the president are trying to paint. We absolutely stand against having criminals here, and we absolutely support the deportation of violent criminals. That was the promise of Donald Trump, but that isn't what is happening. They are storming school graduations. They are trying to force their way into elementary schools to arrest children. The fact that they are utilizing our military, the Marines should never be put on a political theater stage simply to score a point. These are human beings that we're talking about, and law and order doesn't come at their discretion. We either support law and order or we don't. And we cannot be taking any side here except the side of humanity.
Congresswoman Nora Torres, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you, Christina.